And we're back after a long wait. It's time for Talking in Movies. So after a short little break for Epic Handshake, things got a little bit crazy.
A lot
going on. We will try and cover as much of it possible in episode 4. So the movie we reviewed is Expendables 2. I loved every bit of this movie. It was as ridiculous as I hoped it to be, and as amazing as I thought.
That was the point, right? If you went in knowing it was going to be ridiculous, came out satisfied.
I would think that would say something about you if you went in that movie expecting other than ridiculous. Anyways, the plot movie is the sequel to the first one, and for those who don't know, it is a all-star team of 80s and 90s action stars. Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris, and just the list continues. They're a band of mercenaries that go around the world doing these, suicide mission jobs with enormous guns and ridiculous action, and just the whole movie is just testosterone in 2 hours. Right. It's fantastic. So, in this installment, the mercenary team gets caught up with this, terrorist group that's trying to make this enormous bomb, who's led by Jean-Claude Van Damme. A solid villain, I thought.
Excellent villain.
Solid villain, just brutally killing people, just, didn't care about anything. So, this mercenary team gets this, moral struggle. Should we just go on our own way because we're not getting paid, or should we go in there and stop this guy? And then that's the whole movie. Right. So, again, I thought the movie was excellent on the fact that they embraced the ridiculous.
Right.
That each guy had an enormous gun. Jason Statham had 17,000 knives.
Brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles, which, oh my god. Again, it's better that we go to movies early in the afternoon because there's nobody there. The whole movie, every time somebody got punched, I was like, oh.
We were cracking up in the theater.
I don't know if I mentioned this. The movie is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Because it's ridiculous.
Because it's ridiculous. Right. There's one scene when they're clearing out this whole village and they're like, oh my god, one more guy. And everyone on the team empties their entire clip into this poor guy. So I think them embracing the ridiculous made it that much better of a movie. Because you went in there knowing it was going to be fun and just exciting.
And even like you said, Jean-Claude Van Damme, he was an over-the-top villain. Like killing too many people. And that was one thing. We went in the theater and we were like, all right, we're going to take a tally. This will be good for Epic Handshake to take a tally of how many people get killed in this movie.
In 3 minutes and 12 seconds, I lost count.
At least you got that number.
Yeah, I was timing it in my head. 3 minutes and 12 seconds is when the death begins of an amazing opening scene. So, what else did you like about the movie?
I mean, just like you said, if you go in knowing that this is going to be testosterone-filled, guns with 80s and 90s action heroes.
They're the people we grew up watching.
Right. Then you're going to have a great time.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. It wasn't that long. It was, 2 hours, but just...
Well, that's long. That's not long for movies nowadays.
Right. Right. But 2 hours of just a thrill ride, edge of your seat type thing. What else do we have?
They're talking about Expendables 3 already.
I did hear that, and they've already bumped up the future cast. 3 big action stars. Clint Eastwood, who's easily the oldest. I don't know if you saw him at the convention the other night.
No, but I've seen them in that trailer for his new movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's a baseball scout. He looks old.
He's old. Nicolas Cage joining the group, and probably the best, Harrison Ford.
Absolutely.
I think that would be amazing.
And hey, I mean, let's hope it happens.
I hope so. I mean, if I were the director, if I was Stallone and all them, I'd be like, let's go. Let's make another one. Let's make
And
another one.
they made a couple of new additions to the second one, right? Because I actually didn't see the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So who were the newer ones?
The new additions were Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. They both were in the first movie, but only briefly. They had a few lines. They didn't do any action. It was just kind of a funny cameo. In this, they are guns blazing and dropping those classic action one-liners that.
That's what I was
God, that was so amazing.
Well, I guess that cameo quick roll went to Chuck Norris in this movie.
Who?
But when he came on, it was
every time
incredible.
Every time he was on camera.
I don't even want to spoil that one. I know we don't care about spoilers on this show, but
every time he came on the screen, I cheered. It was hilarious. The one little spoiler is they play that little Western woo every time he comes out and he's blasting away. Oh my God, it was so funny.
I loved how they like we keep saying they embrace the ridiculousness, but they say lines like Arnold says, "I'll be back."
Yeah.
But I mean, he's gonna say that, but they don't shy away from it. They just again they just embrace it.
Or the one line, if you don't give me my gun back, you're terminated.
Right.
Come on, you're it's that had to be they're sitting around and wait a minute, say something terminated, and it worked, and it's hilarious, and it just looked like filming it must have been so much fun. You're playing with these big guns, and there's just people going out and having a great time. I would have loved to have been on that set. I bet it was hilarious.
Now, another thing that I noticed was, I mean, in the beginning they tried to add some kind of drama to it, and I think the fact that I was expecting it to be just 1,000% ridiculous, that actually seemed kind of okay for me. I was like, oh, that's that's not so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to have some storyline.
Right.
I guess it's...
They attempted to make a storyline, but then they just kill off the storyline and then just kill everyone.
Yeah, and the storyline becomes the motivation for the rest of the movie, but they don't ever really go back to it. A tear doesn't roll down my cheek because I'm, shoot him in the face! And they do. So many. From what I remember from the first one, this one's much bloodier.
Yeah.
It
seemed really
when
gory,
they shot people, it would spray blood all over behind,
heads were exploding. I mean,
ridiculous. And I guess that's kind of accurate to getting shot by this enormous automatic shotgun, but I mean, it was hilarious. There were scenes it looked like they would fight from one end of the building to the other just to turn around and fight all the way back.
It did seem like they were just turning around, shooting more people, then turning around, shooting more people, then...
I was saying, where did Jean-Claude Van Damme get all these henchmen? I mean, what, did you go on Craigslist or something? But the movie was saved because Jean-Claude Van Damme did his patented jump spin kick, not once, but twice.
That's all Dan kept saying. He said, if Jean-Claude Van Damme does not do the slow motion jump kick, this movie will be a failure.
The movie's a failure. He's done it in every one of his movies. Street Fighter, Bloodsport, Kickboxer. I mean, usually it's like... but they held it for 10 seconds. This, he just... 2 kicks.
Well, you were still cheering from the first one, and then he went and did a second one.
Unbelievable.
And,
unbelievable. It's just... JVCD, do that again. I want to be the director of stuff like that. I think that'd be a niche to fit in.
And it really, that's what it is. It's a niche. It's a cult movie kind of thing.
But I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. It was excellent entertainment. And what else do you go to the movies for?
Exactly. And that's probably the most fun I've had at the movies.
Right.
In a really long time.
I agree.
I was laughing. I was cheering. It was good from 3 minutes and 12 seconds in to, the end credits. It was very, very good.
And, people have different views of what entertainment is based on their personalities. Mm-hmm. So, what we found this movie wildly entertaining because of all the action and everything.
Right.
And we really didn't think it even needed a storyline to be a great, I was more happy spending my money on this movie than, like you said, anyone I can remember in a long time.
Any of them that we've reviewed.
Right.
You know,
Batman was good.
Batman was good. Born Legacy sucked. And you know that makes me think. It's like this style of action movie that is ridiculous, that is over the top. It's so different than newer action, where it's like we want to have awesome scenes, but we want to have a in-depth storyline.
Right, and try and make it feel realistic.
Right.
And stuff.
Where sometimes that works, sometimes.
Right.
But I think with a formula like this, if you're going for an action movie, the Expendables 1 and 2 got it right.
Right. I don't think that this can become like every action movie is going to be like this from now on.
Yeah, I agree.
It like we said, it's a niche. It's maybe 1 or 2 movies, but the fact that they have all these action stars that that we know and love, I mean, that's going to make this particular movie.
I want to go see it again. I want to go see it again.
Yeah, it's highly recommended from Epic Handshake.
All right, so that brings us down to the final part of talking movies. Your grade.
I have to go first.
I may talk for a while, so I have to go second.
Like we've been saying, this movie was incredibly entertaining, and I left. I would have spent another $10 on the movie if I had to. So, with all those things, it doesn't matter if it really had that deep of a storyline, because in the end it was entertaining and we left the theater really happy. I want to give it an A.
Oh, I'm not the only one. Yes,
because we've been discussing this the last couple days.
Yes.
And I was like, well, how can I give this an A? It's just like a ridiculous movie. But like I said before, just
that's phenomenal.
The entertainment value alone gives this movie an A, in my opinion.
I agree. And people can complain and say, how can you give this a higher grade than The Dark Knight? The Dark Knight was such a better movie, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it probably was an overall better movie.
Right.
But
this movie's not winning any awards.
Right. It's not going to break any sales records or anything like that. We went in there and had a great time at the movies, and that's the overall experience. I give it an A. I absolutely give it an A. Epic Handshake's final grade, A.
Stamp it.